Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. So if you're ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us. Service begins every Sunday at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. And if you're not in our area, we invite you to tune in to our YouTube channel at New Life Christian Center Pastor Pope, where the Sunday sermon goes live at 10:45 a.m. every Sunday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And we seem to have a little bit of function problem here. If you will bear with me for one moment, I'm going to make certain that we are set correctly, because for some reason we were not placed and brought up properly. But here we are in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, where you broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at on the Give segment of our contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you that use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook or YouTube, and those of you that are now using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424, we thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So we had a little camera difficulty today, and I don't understand why, but thank you all for your patience and for tuning in. So let me say this. I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, if you are in the real estate business, whether you are flipping houses, whether you are doing development projects, residential or commercial, if you are in need of funding for your real estate projects, New Life International Community Development Corporation has become your private money lender broker. So you can text us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will make certain that you have funding for your projects. We want to help everyone move forward and continue to be blessed and to prosper and have good success. So reach out to us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. And we want to remind everyone that our New Life Food Source Pantry is available and open. If you know someone who is dealing with food insecurities, have them reach out to us on the T-Mobile caller text line. We will give them directions to ensure that they can pick up food from our New Life Food Source Pantry. And I want to remind everyone also, we really, when I say this, I mean it. We want to stay connected with you throughout the week. So we have our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We want to make certain that you're encouraged, empowered, and inspired. So we play music on WKAPFaith.com. Tune in throughout the week so that you can stay connected with us. We want to make certain that everyone has the opportunity to be encouraged empowered, and inspired. And I also want to invite everyone, so I'm going to make this announcement. If you're in our area, we will be having Family, Friends, and Neighbors Day on Sunday, September the 8th. And immediately following Sunday service, we will have a huge barbecue. There will be a gaming limousine for those that like to play video games or who like to do gaming. The Delaware Choir School of Delaware will be with us for praise and worship. You don't want to miss that. They did an amazing job when they came to do their event at our church in February of this year. You can go back on YouTube and view that. But they did an amazing job. So the Choir School of Delaware will be with us for praise and worship on Sunday, September the 8th. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to address the communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, and I'm going to do this today, making certain that I wrap everyone into this, because I want to tell you that so often I hear from people that they really are not making the progress that they want to make. And so it's real important that we understand there's a lot of components that go into success. And so you send in the communication today, not today, but you send in the communication that I'm going to address today regarding success, and you really want to know how do you succeed in life when it seems as though no matter how hard you work, you're not able to accomplish what others are accomplishing. And I'm going to, first of all, stop you right there and say, the very first thing you're going to have to do if you're going to be successful is stop comparing yourself to others. Because your race is not their race. You cannot compare yourself to anyone else. And that's what you were talking about in your communication, how everyone else seems to be, that you know seems to be having success. You're not experiencing the same success. And so it's starting to trouble you. You're starting to find it difficult to move forward when you're not having the same success that others are having. So first and foremost, stop comparing yourself to others. But then you've got to really determine what you can do to not only be successful, but to also maximize your success. And so I'm going to talk to everyone today about something that I've talked about previously. However, it never changes. And so what I want to make certain is that we are clear on, first of all, on smarter goals. Okay, that's the first thing. I want to make certain that we understand that we can be successful if we just set smarter goals for ourselves. So we've got to make certain that we understand exactly what smarter goals are, and we understand how to accomplish them. So many of you have heard me talk about these issues previously, but I want to make certain that we go through them today, because I realize that if we're going to finish this year strong and we're going to make the progress that we desire to make, each and every one of us, because, you know, we're all becoming, listen, you can be successful, but you're still becoming successful, because there's always another level that we can go and improve. So let's really examine what smarter goals look like for us, and let's make certain that we really structure our lives so that we can be successful. So, pardon me. I have been having problems with my allergies all week, so please bear with me if you hear my voice start to crack and start to wear out. Just stay with me. So I'm going to start with exactly what smarter goals are. And then we're going to talk about those today. We're going to go through those. So smarter goals are just this. You want to be specific, you want to write out specific goals. And I've talked about how you do that, but I'll get back to that again today also. You want to make sure they're measurable. You want to make certain that they're attainable. You want to make certain that they're relevant. And you want to make certain that they're time sensitive. So we want to make certain that when we talk about being specific, what is it that you want to accomplish, not generally? Okay, you want to be successful. Every one of us, if we're in our sound mind, we should desire to be successful. But what does success look like for you? And that should be very specific also. And so we want to make certain that we look at every component of what success looks like for us, and we want to write those down. We want to be specific about them. We want to make certain that we do exactly what the Bible told us to do, and that is write the vision and make it plain. So I'm going to go through this today because this is real important. We have to know that when we're writing the vision and make it plain, we're being very specific about the goals of success that we want to accomplish. And in order to do that, you really have to do what I've said before, which is for the entire year, you have to write out what you want to accomplish for the year. You have to write out what you want to accomplish each quarter. You have to write out what you want to accomplish each month so that they're measurable. Now, some of you have heard me talk about, knowing exactly where every hour of the day is going. But now I've been examining something this week that inspired me to really look at how you can maximize each 5 minutes of each hour of every day. But you just got to be real specific about what success you want to accomplish. And then you have to make certain that it's measurable, and that's the reason that we look at what we accomplish every month, every quarter, every year, and you really want to run that out for for 7 years. And the reason is because if you run that out for the next 7 years, you will know exactly where you want to be 7 years from now, and then you can work the plan and then see the results 7 years from now and trust God that you'll accomplish everything you desire to accomplish according to His will. So you've got to make it measurable. And then you have to make certain that your goals are attainable. You have to make certain that, and I've used this analogy years ago, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and be a neurosurgeon. If I had that in my spirit that I want to become a neurosurgeon, I would have to go back to school, go to medical school, do an internship, do a residency, all of the steps that are necessary to become a neurosurgeon. That's not of interest to me. So it's not attainable because it's not of interest to me. But what's of interest to you, you also have to make certain that it's attainable. And then it has to be relevant to what you're doing right now. And what I mean by that is your current focus, what you want to accomplish right now, it has to be relevant. So I'm going to give everyone an example. We are a church. We're an international ministry. We are a community development corporation. And we are a food pantry, a public charity. All of those things that we do within those sectors are all based on charitable and philanthropic endeavors. And we do those things because we desire to have an impact on society. So they're all relevant. You've heard me announce we have an internet radio station today. You may say, well, what does an internet radio station have to do with the gospel? But we're playing all gospel and inspirational music. Everything has to be relevant to what you're doing, what your goals are. Everything has to be relevant. You don't change your goals because of some new ambition or shiny thing. You stay focused. You stay on the course. You continue to do what God has appointed for your life, and you make it relevant. And then you've got to set some time. You've got to make things time sensitive. So you've got to set some time parameters and then trust God at whatever pace He decides to move them. But we have to do those things because that's going to allow us to accomplish the success we desire to accomplish. So I'm sharing this today because you asked this question, but you're not the only one. So many people want to know what success really looks like. So I'm going to come back to this as part of the broadcast today, as soon as I do a little business with our listeners and viewers. But it's important that we understand what success is going to look like and how we can achieve that success we so richly desire. And I'm going to ask that as we go through these things today, we begin to put some of these things, we begin to execute them. We begin to put some of these things in motion. We can't just talk about them. We have to be about them. So I'm going to ask you to stay tuned. I'm going to give you some insight into how we get to the place of success that we desire. We're going to spend some time talking about this today because this is real important to many people. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address this topic of smarter goals further. However, before I do that, I want to make certain that you know if you are looking for the best telecom solutions for your business, this segment of the broadcast is going to be brought to you by Comcast Business. Whether you are a small startup or a large enterprise, contact Sarah Jo Boyle at Comcast Business at 215-964-3670 and give your business the edge it so richly deserves. Your code is Pastor Pope, and she will provide you with telecom solutions. So let's get back into the structure for success. You know, everything is about structure. And so if you tuned in today and you decided, well, I'm going to tune out because he's going to talk about success, it's probably because you're afraid of success. And one of the things we have to do is eliminate the fear of success. The reason that most people are afraid of success, although they say they would like to be successful, the reason that most people are afraid of success is because when you become successful in what you're doing, it takes twice as much work to maintain and preserve your success. So, for those of you who have stayed tuned in for the second half of the broadcast, let's really talk about being specific. Try focusing on exactly what you want to accomplish. Stop being distracted by, as I like to say, the next shiny thing. Stop being distracted by what you can do next and focus on what you can do now that's going to build for the future. So success is the long game. We all have to work to become successful. And I'm not just talking about your everyday assignment. One of the things many people have heard me say over the years is that you never work for the job you have. You do the work for the job you have. You work for the job you want. Whatever your career might be, you are working for the job you desire. You're working for the position you desire. You're working for the success that you desire. But you have to be specific about that success. You have to believe that you can achieve the success you desire. You have to really have the right state of mind to become successful in whatever you do. You know, it's real important that we are specific about what we want to accomplish in life so that we can then work to that end. So your goals must align with what you're being specific about. So and what I mean by that is this. You can say specifically this is what you want to accomplish, but if you don't set the goals to accomplish it, it's just a talking point. So you have to set the goals, the step by step. What is it going to take for you to accomplish what you desire to accomplish? And that's one of the reasons I tell everyone you need to write down 3 things personally you want to accomplish this month. You need to write down 3 things you want to accomplish professionally this month, and then you work to accomplish them. You take the necessary steps to accomplish them. You execute. And it can be simple things or it can be very difficult tasks, but whatever they are, you have to work them. So what you want to accomplish this month, what you want to accomplish this quarter, what you want to accomplish this year. Now, I tell everyone, start with the end in mind. So, you know, that's an old adage, I didn't make that up. But you start with the end in mind. What do I want to accomplish this year? And then what are the steps I need to take each quarter to accomplish them? And then what do I need to do every month to accomplish each quarter? And what do you need to do every day to accomplish what you want to accomplish by the end of the month? You know, it's step by step. So it is each day, each month, each quarter for the year. And then because you're writing a 7-year plan, it's the next 7 years. What am I doing that's going to allow me to experience that success 7 years from now? Because that's how we make progress. We don't become stagnant. We don't become complacent. We make progress. So your goals have to be measurable. As I said, they have to be attainable. You have to know what you're capable of attaining, and then you don't limit God. So what I mean by that is this. If you set attainable goals, you have to then believe that God will exceed what you're capable of attaining. What you're capable of accomplishing, God can do exceeding abundantly above all that you can ask or think. So you have to believe that. You just keep doing the work and God will do amazing things in your life. And then, as I said, it has to be relevant. So here's the reality. Your goals should move you in the direction of your vision. Everything has to line up with what you're doing. You can add components to what you're doing. You can have diversification in what you're doing, but you have to make certain that everything lines up with the direction of your vision. And the problem is in our society today is that people so often get knocked off their square because of the next shiny thing that comes along. Pardon me. We have to make certain that, pardon me, we have to make certain that everything we do is relevant. And then we want to set time-sensitive guidelines. What that means for us, once again, throughout the day, you're working to accomplish what you want to accomplish by the end of the month. But there are hours in the day that have to be time sensitive. This is what I'm going to accomplish by 9 a.m. today. So I'll give you an example. My day starts at 6 a.m. What I mean by that is everything's time sensitive. So I know I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes. I'm going to have prayer. And then generally I'm going to, unless I have conference calls that are scheduled in foreign jurisdictions because of the time zones, I may have to adjust. But generally I'm going to then get my workout in. And I'm going to start my workout, and when I'm done with my workout, then I'm going to shave, shower, and get dressed. I'm going to start responding to emails. I'm going to look at text messages. I'm going to, for those first 2 hours of the day, that's what's going to happen. So now we're at 8 o'clock. Now, there may be some variables depending on what's on the calendar. But those are basically, that's essentially my first 2 hours of the day, from 6 to 8. And then it's time to do business. It's time to focus in on business and what needs to be done. But what I also will say from 8 to 10, if I don't have a lot on my calendar from 9 to 10, from 8 to 9, I'm working on business. Maybe 9 to 10, I may get an hour of study. But most of the time, my study time is going to be at the end of the day. Because if I get 1 hour in early, then that means I've got 2 hours left at the end of the day to study. But having said that, everything's lined out on my calendar. So now from 10:30, from 10 to 12, I have everything on my calendar that needs to be addressed. But I know by 11:30, I'm going to be working on production, unless there's some variables for the broadcast. Go live at 12:30. Broadcast concludes at 1 o'clock. Post-production from 1 to 1:30. From 1:30 to 3, I'm either going to have lunch, or from 1:30 to 3:30, I'm going to have lunch. Maybe if I have a lunch meeting, or if I have lunch myself. And then it's more work. So everything is charted out until the end of the day. And then I'm going to get the remainder of my study done, or I'm going to begin my studies, and I'm going to study for 3 hours, and then I'm going to bed. Now, for most people, that might sound like just an atypical day that, I'd rather be doing some other things, but no, those are the things that need to be done to ensure that I have everything is time sensitive. Now, you might say, well, Pastor, what about when you want to go and play golf? That's on my calendar. If I'm going to play golf, it's on my calendar. It's scheduled. Everything is scheduled because everything is time sensitive. And that's how we align ourselves with smarter goals. That's how we accomplish. Now, I just gave you a typical day. Every day may not be typical because there may be ebbs and flows. But as long as you have a schedule, you can ensure that you accomplish smarter goals. So let's as we wrap up this month and begin the new month that will take us to the end of this quarter, let's make certain that we're doing everything that we possibly can every day to maximize the fullness of God. And this year, let's make this year, remainder of this year, successful when the year concludes, so that we can look back at the year for review and say, I've accomplished everything that I needed to accomplish this year. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, has been brought to you by Fiji Water, a taste of paradise.